And now, back to the Dr. A Show with your host, Dr. Will Aguila.
Owning a pet is one of the most rewarding experiences that you can have. Your pet can be your lifelong companion, giving you joy and happiness along the way. Your pet becomes your most loyal and trusted family member, so it is important to keep your pet healthy and safe. Our next guest is renowned veterinarian, author, and celebrity spokesperson Karen Doc Halligan. Doc Halligan has developed a distinguished veterinary medical career which established herself as a national authority on animals. Doc Halligan is the author of the award-winning book, Doc Halligan's What Every Pet Owner Should Know, Prescriptions for Happy, Healthy Cats and Dogs. And she's authored numerous articles for Parade magazine and other media. She has appeared regularly on television on The Katie Couric Show, Doctors Kelly and Michael, The Today Show, Dr. Drew's Life Changers, and Fox and Friends. She frequently appears on Dogs 101, Cats 101, and America's Cutest Pets. Doc Halligan, welcome to the Dr. A Show.
Hi, Dr. A. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Now, Doc Halligan, why are we Americans so in love with our pets?
Well, I think that because it's become so computerized and, you don't have as much interaction with people. Like, there used to be the milkman and, people just talk to each other more. Now we have everything automated, and I think that's part of it. I also think that, we've been able to help pets live longer and be healthier. So people, it used to be the pet was in the yard, and then they went to the bedroom, and now they're in the bed. Okay?
And sometimes they take over your bed.
They can. They shouldn't. But, I think it's that unconditional love that they give you, and it's something that we have trouble with. And also we're realizing as they've done studies that people that have pets actually have fewer health problems and they have a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, and also pets are used to help people who are chronically ill or people who are recovering from post-traumatic stress disorder, correct?
Yes, and they're also being prescribed for people with heart disease.
Wow.
Yes, so loneliness, depression, heart disease, post-traumatic stress syndrome. You saw when they have those shootings now, they have dogs that they bring into the towns where the
That's right.
children have been massacred, and the pets just have a way of soothing you, and they do lower your blood pressure when you're touching them. And the Delta Society has done a lot of studies that they're really good for you. I say they're like emotional vitamins, is what I tell people. Oh yes,
that's a very good point. Oh, that's very well said. And they force you to interact with them because you can't text your pet yet, at least, right? You can't text message.
That's a funny thing you said that because I just started dating and, they just text you. Like, they don't pick up the phone and call and, you're right. Like texting now, it's sad where the kids are lacking in the communication skills, I think, verbally. But, you can't text a pet. Hopefully never.
Hopefully never, you're right.
Hopefully
overall,
never, but you never say never.
Well, that'd be pretty interesting to see your pet texting you back. But anyway.
Yeah.
Overall, which pet do you think is the most common?
Well, there's more dogs. There's more cats than dogs. There's 90 million cats and about 73 million dogs. But more households have dogs than cats because most cat owners have more than one.
I see.
And I think about 63% of American households have a pet, which is more than have children. I think it's like 30-something% with children. So there's actually more households with pets than children in our country.
And what do you think makes a good pet owner?
Well, I think as a good pet owner, you really need to think it out before you go and purchase or rescue a pet. It shouldn't be an emotional buy because it's really a commitment. And nowadays, it can be an 18-year commitment for a dog and a 23-year commitment for a cat. And it's something that, it's a long time, right? And and so, you know, I think thinking of that, making sure you can financially afford it. Do you have the time? You know, it will change your life in a positive way. But, you know, if your lifestyle is crazy, a goldfish might be better, you know. So you really got to think it out before you rush out there and get one.
And also, if you're someone who has perhaps never really taken on the responsibility of caring for somebody or something, does that exclude you from being a pet owner, or you know, should you
Not at
rent
all.
somebody's pet temporarily to, you know, take care of somebody's pet and see if it's good for you, or?
No, I think what you do is, you know what you're getting yourself into as far as feeding it and walking it, litter box, blah blah blah. But you know, then you go down and you interact with the pets, and I think if you get a bond with the pet, it's like when you start dating someone, you have the spark. If it's there, it's there, and you're going to do whatever you need to do. It's kind of like, I'm sure, when people have babies, and they've never had a baby before, right? Like, I wouldn't know how to take care of a baby. Right. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, I guess, you know, you have the bond, and you do what you need to do.
Okay. So you just want to make sure that you're really, that in your heart, you really want to have this animal, and that you're going to take care of it, and you're going to allow it to become a part of your family. Now, what are the qualities of a cat owner versus a dog owner? Are they different people?
You know, the love from cats is different than the love from dogs. It's hard to explain. It's like cats, you know, they're not as needy as a dog. Dogs are very needy. You know, they need you to pet them and love them. They need you to take them for a walk. And, you know, with the cat, I mean, you don't have to take them out. Some of them are very, very affectionate, but, you know, they definitely don't require as much work as a dog. So, and there is that unconditional love that they give you as well. I have 2 cats right now. I used to have a dog, but, you know, my 2 cats, Nathan and Kinky, I mean, they've gotten me through some really tough times, and I never feel alone. They sleep with me on the bed, and, you know, they play with me. I mean, I play with them, and so, but they're definitely, it's a different kind of love from a cat than it is from a dog. But I can tell you, if you've never had a kitten, I mean, they are the silliest, funniest. You could be having the worst day, and you see these 2 kittens that just do this, like, Halloween kitty. They scare themselves, they jump, you know, and they fostering could be an option for people that have never, like, experienced a dog or a cat. You can foster from a lot of the local SPCA and humane societies, and that also can show you what it would be like to have a critter in your house.
Now, Doc Halligan, is it better to adopt a pet or to buy one? I mean, or is there a difference?
Well, there is a difference. I mean, 6 million animals are euthanized in our country every year. So
6 million.
6 million. 6 million.
Wow.
Just to give you an example, in Los Angeles, over the 4th of July weekend, 900 animals were turned in or found. Wow. I mean, in 2 days. And so, you know, the numbers are staggering. There's just amazing dogs, cats, kittens, puppies in the shelters. Purebreds represent about 25%. It's just different. If you decide you want to breed in a certain breed, then you can go through the shelters first and see. And they have rescue groups. But then if you don't find it, you can go to a breeder, but then you're paying a lot of money. And, you know, the dogs that come from the shelters are vaccinated, spayed, neutered. So it's a lot less expensive if you go through a shelter.
And if you have a dog or a cat or any pet that, for whatever reason, you just can't take care of anymore, you don't want, what should you do with them?
Well, you should try to replace it. You should try to rehome it if you can, because turning it into the shelters is, you know, I mean, there's no guarantee that it's going to get placed. You know, you could put ads out and, you know, tell people, you can post it on the internet, you know. If you get
and usually there are going to be people out there that'll find it a home, right?
Well, I mean, there are people that try to rehome it, but the majority of people just turn it into the shelter. Because they're moving, they don't have time for it. And I think that's I think that contributes to a lot of abandoned animals.
And so, and you say you have 2 dogs and 2 cats?
Just 2 cats right now.
Oh, 2 cats.
My dog passed
right.
away. Yes. And now you have an animal. What do you have?
I have a little Lhasa Apso dog, and she's the cutest little thing. And we'll talk a little bit more about that after the break. We are speaking with Doc. We are speaking with Doc Karen Halligan, and she is the author of Doc Halligan's "What Every Pet Owner Should Know: Prescriptions for Happy, Healthy Cats and Dogs." Stay with us as the Dr. A Show continues.
And now, back to the Dr. A Show with your host, Dr. Will Aguila.
Welcome back to the show. Our guest today is Dr. Karen Halligan. Most people know her as Doc Halligan. And she is an award-winning author of Doc Halligan's What Every Pet Owner Should Know: Prescriptions for Happy, Healthy Cats and Dogs. Dr. Halligan, we were talking before the break of what makes a good pet owner. But now that you own a pet, what are the do's and don'ts? What are some of the things that we should be doing with our pets, and a lot of the things we shouldn't be doing? Let's start with food. Is it okay to give
that's
pet?
Right where I was going to go.
Yeah. Is it okay to give your pet table scraps? Because, man, they beg and plead, and I got to tell you, sometimes it breaks my heart not to give her something.
Well, it isn't good to give them table scraps. It gets them into a lot of trouble. Their digestive system is different than ours, and so what it is that you've got to do what's called tough love. And so, if you feed your pet high-quality dog or cat food in the measured amount twice a day, and then, the food should be a small part of their daily activity. We have a epidemic, if you will, going on with pets now being about 60 to 70% are overweight or morbidly obese. And
how many? I'm sorry, 50 to 70%?
It's at least minimum of 60%.
Wow.
It's just horrendous, and it's so frustrating because we're loving our pets with food, and if your pet starts to stare at you when you're feeding it and when you're eating and you give it something, then you positively reinforce that. So I just tell people, put it in another room, put it outside if you can't control yourself. Dogs learn that they're not going to get any food, and then they'll stop begging. My dog never begged. He didn't get any food, so he never came around when I was eating because he knew. So it's really not that difficult to just feed him dog food. And, it keeps us in business. The bones, the ham, they give them pizza, alcohol, chicken,
alcohol.
cheese.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I've heard it all. So, it's there's a reason they make dog food and cat food. It's balanced, it's nutritious, and that's what you're supposed to feed them. And if you do treats, they should be less than 10% of their daily caloric intake so that they don't get fat.
Well, and what food should we absolutely positively not give our dog or cat?
Well, I ran over a bunch of them, bones, cheese, ham, salty meats, onions, garlic, macadamia nuts, raisins. I mean, there's a whole list of them that are very dangerous and can even be toxic to a cat or a dog.
Is it true that chocolate could actually be toxic to a dog?
The baker's chocolate is toxic, not the milk chocolate. So if a dog consumes a lot of the bitter, dark baker's chocolate, they can have a problem from that. So,
assuming that we have a healthy dog or cat, and we do everything to keep them that way, how do we know if the pet's getting sick or if something's wrong?
Well,
what do we look for?
It's a good question, because they can't tell you, right? So, get to know their normal behavior. So they are very routine oriented. They like to do the same thing every day. They do. So when they start to do things differently, like They normally get up and greet you when you come home, and they don't. They normally go running outside when you open the door. They don't. They normally, whatever their normal behavior is. If that changes, then you need to at least call your vet. The other thing is I usually have pet owners do a at-home exam on their pet, like, looking at their face all the way down to their tail and getting to know what is normal for them. And when they notice something that's not normal, then they would go and get that checked out. Because I think prevention is a lot cheaper for pets than, waiting until it's severe, which a lot of pet owners, they notice the lump. Oh, it'll go away. Oh, the dog's limping. Oh, he's vomiting. Oh, it'll get better, and then it doesn't, and, and then they're really sick by the time we see them.
Now they're in the ICU and a big bill, and you can lose your pet and feel very bad about
yes.
it. So.
You can, yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, do we really need to brush our pet's teeth, really?
You really do. If you want to save on vet bills and get your pet to live as long as possible, they have the same teeth as we do, Dr. A. So what happens to your teeth if you don't brush them?
Well, I'd probably be seeing the dentist. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they rot out, and that's what exactly happens. They rot out.
So even on a dog, the teeth can rot out.
Oh my God! Especially on a dog and cat. Yeah, because you have to remember. I mean, we've domesticated them now, and so in the wild they would only live to be what, 7, probably. Mm-hmm. So if you want your pet to live forever, I mean, wasn't there a time when human beings didn't brush their teeth? The prehistoric people. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, how long did they live for?
That's right.
So
that makes
kind of the same thing. They have the same type of teeth we have. More than we have, but they have baby teeth that fall out, and they have then the permanent set of adults. So. And
how often do you brush their teeth?
You're supposed to do it every other day to make a difference.
How about washing your dog or cat? A cat, you're not going to get into bathe, but how about your dog? Putting your dog and washing him, should it be done every week or every couple of weeks? Is there a danger to doing it too often?
There isn't a danger to doing it too often as long as you use the right shampoo, a shampoo that's made for dogs and cats. Cats can be bathed as well, but they have a different pH than we do, so you have to make sure it's for dogs and cats. But I just tell people when they need it, bathe them when they start smelling, they look dirty, give them a bath,
Okay. And then of course you want to follow on with your flea and tick protection. That's key. That's important. How do you do that now? I mean, is that a dog collar that protects the fleas and ticks, or are there medications? I mean, what's the best way to do it?
Well, I think the topicals are the most cost effective now. At Walmart and Target, they have a product called Pet Armor, which was a generic Frontline, and it's half the price, and it's readily available. So flea topical once a month on all the pets in the household, and you don't have to worry.
So once a month, huh? Now, should we spay or neuter our pets? This is an important question because a lot of people need to know the answer to this. Should we do that? And if we do, when should we do it?
Well, the answer is unequivocally yes. When you should do it, female dogs have their first estrus cycle at about 7 months, and the studies have showed if you spay them before their breast tissue gets sensitized by the estrogen, then they have virtually a 0% chance of getting breast cancer. Unfortunately, people don't say
is that common?
It's more common in dogs than in women. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all right.
Very common. And it's 100% preventable. Well, 90% preventable by spaying before the first heat cycle. We spay and neuter animals as early as 8 weeks of age. So, you want to do it before they reach sexual maturity.
Are there going to be any changes in their behavior that we should expect when we do this?
No, the only thing is their metabolism will slow down, so you have to feed them less calories. Thank God the testicles don't define their personality, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they do.
True.
I would hope they
I hope
don't.
not. Yeah. I hope not.
So, you don't have to worry. The dog's not going to change. People, there's so much misconceptions about that. Yeah.
Well, that's why I brought it up, because I wanted to make sure that you cleared them.
Yes.
Now, another question that I think is really important. We did touch on this earlier in the previous segment about who really is ready to have a dog or a cat or a pet and all that. But the common scenario is that your child wants a puppy very, very badly and bugs you about it on a daily basis. And she promises you that she will take care of the pet and do everything for it. But a few weeks after you get the puppy, the job of taking care of the pet all falls to you. What do you do?
Well, whose fault is that? Ultimately, it's the parent's fault, isn't it? I mean, it's the parents that, so I have to put that on the parents. Because if you can't take responsibility to tell your child, look, if we get this pet, you're going to have to do that, or you're not going to get this, or you're not going to, I think it's the parent's responsibility to hold them to it, right? Just like anything in life, it's a commitment.
And it teaches the child how to be responsible and how to take care of something. I have a client of mine who she actually wrote a contract for her kid and had him sign it. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. You've answered some of the most important questions that pet owners should know, and there are many more. So I recommend that you get her book, Doc Halligan's What Every Pet Owner Should Know, Prescriptions for Happy, Healthy Cats and Dogs. And they can find you at Doc Halligan, DocHalligan.com.
The other thing is I have a YouTube channel, Doc Halligan Tips. It's all one word, Doc Halligan Tips.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Dr. A.
That's our show for today. Thanks for listening. Please log on to the website, thedrashow.com, to listen to podcasts of previous shows and to leave us any messages, suggestions, or comments. We'd love to hear from you. Until next week, this is Dr. A, wishing you a healthy and happy week.